At this point, currently, I'm going on my almost 7th year of dividend growth investing, and as of filming this video, I'm currently earning around $74,000 per year in dividends, or right around $6,200 a month. Now, in this video, we're going to break down my entire long-term dividend growth portfolio and show you every single position, every single stock and ETF that I have within it. Then later on, I'm going to go through some specific math and show you how even with a relatively small amount of money invested in the right high-quality dividend growth stocks and/or ETFs, any everyday investor can build an extreme level of wealth when it comes time to retire. Now, if this interests you at all, make sure to please drop a like down below, subscribe, and let's get right into it. I just finished my brand new dividend investing ebook where I share exactly how I went from zero to now over 7 figures invested, and also on how I earned more than $6,000 per month in dividends. I also finished my custom dividend tracker that you can use to track your dividend income progress on an ongoing basis. So make sure to grab yourself a copy of my dividend investing ebook and the new dividend tracker today. It's the first link in my description. So first things first, this right here is my master dividend tracker, which shows all the different positions. Like I said, throughout my multiple different dividend growth portfolios, I have portfolios on multiple different brokers because I like to spread around some of the money to make sure I stay below the insurance amount per brokerage. Now, just a side note, you guys can grab this exact same dividend tracker and use it for your own journey. It's the first link down below in my description. But this portfolio around, keep in mind, is all going to be estimated. These numbers are always going to change ongoingly because of dividend raises, dividend cuts, and of course, just everyday accounting errors. But as this portfolio sits, I'm currently at around $75,000 per year in dividends with around $6,200 a month. Now, keep in mind, I opened up my first dividend portfolio back on the Robinhood brokerage years and years ago. And because of a business liquidity event pretty early along in my investing journey, I was lucky enough to have a decent amount of money to invest into dividend paying stocks and ETFs from day one, and that's exactly what I did so. But as the portfolio sits right now, here are some of the big positions in the portfolio. I currently have 1,748 shares of the BlackRock Enhanced Equity Dividend Trust, or BDJ. Now, just this one ETF alone pays me around $110 per month in dividends. And it's also important to note that some of the positions in here are going to be what you consider a little bit higher yield, and some of them will be a little bit lower yield, which is basically what my strategy is made up of. I like to have a little bit of everything in my portfolio, and I'm a very big fan of diversification. The next big position in this portfolio is Divo, ticker symbol DIVO. I have 1,421 shares in this portfolio. Now, I do think I might have a little bit more Divo. I'm not exactly sure when's the last time I updated this, but Divo is one of my favorite long-term buy and hold dividend paying ETFs, and altogether monthly, I earn around $215 from Divo alone. Next, I got around 1,262 shares of Verizon. I currently am down on Verizon. My average cost is pretty high. But with Verizon, I've been lucky enough to sell cover calls the entire way down since Verizon was trading around $60 per share. And with Verizon, I earn around $343 per month on average in dividend income. Next, I have 1,000 shares of Apple that I bought years ago at $118 each per share. Now, Apple's not a big dividend payer, but like I said, some of the positions in this portfolio are supposed to be here for some more growth potential. Some of them are going to be obviously bigger, higher yielder dividend payers, but Apple's one of my favorite assets that I've owned for years now. Next, I have 2,715 shares of QYLD. Obviously, I bought QYLD for the big yield, and on a monthly basis across all the portfolios, I earned somewhere around $480, which is awesome. Next, Realty Income, my favorite buy and hold single stock position. I think I just recently hit 2,818 shares, and this estimates with my yield on cost, I earn around $867 per month, which I think is actually a little bit off. I don't know if my average cost per share is actually down that low, but either way, Realty Income, I do have almost 3,000 shares, which is pretty awesome. Next, I have around 1,248 shares of JP Morgan's JEPI ETF, which I've also owned for years now. JEPI pays around $500 per month throughout all the portfolios. Then I have ticker symbol EPD, one of my other favorite single stocks, 740 shares, which pay me an average around $120 on a monthly basis. Next, BST, 700 shares of BST, which pay me around $200. We have MPW Medical Properties Trust, which cut their dividend recently and looks like they might cut it again, which is absolutely horrible, but it is what it is. MPW is one of my biggest losing positions. Luckily, I never spent too much on it relative to the rest of the portfolio. Next, 503 shares of JEPQ, which is an awesome cover call ETF, around $250 per month just from JEPQ alone. Then we have Omega Healthcare, 300 shares of that. We have NuC, 246 shares of that. We got some XYLD, around 200 shares of that. We got SCHD, 515 shares. I did grab some more SCHD recently, so I think we're closer to like 530 shares. But SCHD is my number one position I'm trying to build throughout this year. SCHD hopefully will be a 1,000 share position by the end of 2024. Next, we have Altria. We have 310 shares of Altria. Obviously, bought that one for the yield. We have Triple N or National REIT. We have 261 shares of that. We got JP Morgan, 100 shares. We got Vici, almost 300 shares of Vici. We got 59 shares of Kinder Morgan. We got 231 shares of Main Street Capital, another position that I'm looking to build out this year. We got 89 shares of Walgreens. Unfortunately, we just saw that dividend cut, I think, last week. Then we have 351 of WP Carey. We have 47 shares of Pinnacle West Capital Corporation. We got some TSLY, a small amount, relatively speaking, 255 shares. Then we got 24 shares of UPS. We got 20 shares of Pembina Pipeline. We got 18 shares of Arbor Realty Trust. Extra storage space, 16 shares. We got 17 shares of SPG, Simon Property Group. We have 12 shares of SVOL. We got 9 shares of Stag. We got 8 shares of T-Row. We got 19 shares of Kimberly-Clark. We got 3192 of VNQ. We got 200 of KO. And we have 700 of Public Storage. So this is for the most part every position throughout my multiple portfolios. Like I said, I still have to add some positions in here. And as I buy more stocks and ETFs on a daily basis, I'm not right away always updating this portfolio, which honestly I probably should, because that would give me a much more accurate look. So now that we went over my dividend growth portfolio, I showed you guys what positions are within it right now, and I also showed you exactly how much I'm making on a yearly and monthly basis as of right now. I promised you earlier on that any everyday investor with a relatively small amount of money starting out, if invested into the right asset vehicle, could build a massive amount of wealth when it comes time for retirement. And for this example, specifically, we're going to be looking at the SCHD ETF with a $10,000 initial starting principal, a $10,000 investment. SCHD is offering around a 3.5% initial starting dividend yield, around an 8% expected annual dividend amount increase, about 3% expected share appreciation, and $12,000 per year. Now keep in mind, some people might not have $12K to invest every year in the market, and of course you can go lower than this, you can go higher than this, but for this example, we're going with $1,000 a month, 30 years invested. Let's say a relatively younger investor, maybe say 30 years old, started with this, and let's see what they would end up with when it comes time to retire. So by year number 1, this investor with a $10,000 investment into something like SCHD ETF would have around $354 per year in dividends. Not enough to retire off of, nothing that spectacular, but still a start. By year number 5, $65,000 after all the dividends been reinvested, and also after that $12,000 annual contribution, this portfolio is starting to move. By year number 10, $161,000 in principal and around $8,800 per year in dividends, which now we're starting to get somewhere. By year number 12, the portfolio is at $185 in principal and over $10K per year in dividends. And by year number 15, let's say a 30-year-old investor started this portfolio. By the time they're 45, they would already have over $309,000 and almost $22,000 per year in dividends. Now, as the power of compounding kicks in and as these dividends are reinvested, and as this investor continues to contribute that $1,000 per month, every single month into the portfolio, which again, for some investors might not be all that easy, but depending on your income level, it's really just going to depend. But 20 years in, this investor would already have $561,000 invested and over $49,000 per year in dividends. Now, from year number 20 to 30, the dividends just get crazy. $10,000 increase by year number 21. By year number 22, almost $11,000 increase in dividends year over year, and so on and so forth, all the way to the point to where 30 years in, just going off these numbers, and keep in mind these are all just estimations, this investor could have over $2 million invested and almost $300,000 per year in dividends, which all started off with just $10,000 and $354 per year in dividends. So I show you this just to make the point that even if you aren't an investor with a massive portfolio as of right now, let's say you're 20 or 30 years old, the power of compounding is a magical thing. And as long as you stay invested long enough, keep reinvesting the dividends, and of course sprinkle some more cash balance along the way, you too could build a massive portfolio long term if you just stick with the strategy. But now heading back over to my dividend growth portfolio, I want to hear from you guys down below which position in this portfolio, whether it be a stock or ETF, is your favorite. If you of course can only pick one, drop the ticker symbol in the comments down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.